Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, Toby, your judge, your jury, and your analyst, and today I bring you the early meta-analysis for Little Jungle Cup Remix. Now, I know a lot of you are probably like, yay, great league, there are so many more moveset changes that I want to do all this stuff, etc. Yeah, but the thing is, those moveset changes aren't going to happen until Season 12 kind of rolls around. So, right now, I'm going to put content on that later as far as analysis goes, but also for those of you that want to play Little Jungle Cup Remix, because this is actually a really basic Little Cup meta versus where it was before, where you had Cottonee, Salandit, Ducklett, and Skorupi banned. With those four being banned, this is actually a very simple and condensed meta. It's a lot like the Fighting Cup, except without the fast move damage and the madness. And the funny part is that someone actually had the guys to ban Salandit. So I'm very impressed. Whoever decided to ban Salandit, like, you deserve a raise, because that's the first time I've ever seen anybody in Niantic do work for Pokemon Go PvP. That was a roast, by the way. But before we get started, just going to my therapist mental health of the day. As usual, you can skip this by going forward like 1 or 2 minutes and you go straight to the meta analysis. But this is about mindfulness of breath. Because we're talking about the meta here, mindfulness is pretty much a lot of the meta when it comes to psychotherapy. Mindfulness-based programs such as mindfulness-based cognitive therapy have demonstrated beneficial effects for a wide range of psychological disorders, as well as helping people cope with pain and illness. We don't like it when we don't like action, we don't like it when we lose, and we hate losing the lead. So how do you help do that? It's mindfulness. And mindfulness awareness exercises form part of treatment approaches such as dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT, and compassion-focused therapy like CFT. Basically, they're called evidence-based practices, which are the meta for psychotherapy. So I'm going to put this below on the description, and it's just a really good idea of the meta when it comes to psychotherapy or psychoeducation, since we're talking about meta anyways. And without further ado, like I mentioned, this is going to be the early meta-analysis for the Little Jungle Cup Remix, and if you want a fast-paced meta without too much of the mass for Open Great League, and you want to get your battles done quickly, then this is the cup for you. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so here's the custom rankings. I already put together all the legwork, and I also just excluded, as you see, Skorupi, Salandit, Cottonee, and Ducklett, the four that were banned from Little Cup Remix. And it's kind of good that we're banned, because those things would be, they would be so broken. But the good thing is that if you don't want to play Open Great League like I mentioned beginning, and you want to get through your sets actually pretty quickly, this is the cup to do it. If you're strapped for time, this is probably the cup to do it, rather than all the madness that's going to happen in Open Great League. So, in the 2 shield, as you see here, Dragon Breath and Charm users still reign supreme, but not that much, to be honest with you. The thing what deters, I know on this isn't the official rankings, they're going to flip entirely when pvpoke.com's official rankings come out, but I've already seen them a bazillion times. So you're going to see Altaria. Altaria is still really good. The problem is the steel types. So things like Steelix, Galarian Stunfisk is going to be the big one, is going to deter pretty much all the Charmers and Dragon Breath users from this meta. You also don't want to use Dano or Dragons because of the fact that Swinub, despite it being ranked so low at 53 in the 2 shield, like I said, this isn't really the true rankings that's put into it, but I already know ahead of time of what the rankings might look like when you spend a lot of hours doing this stuff, and you kind of it kind of becomes automatic. So again, a lot of what you're going to see at the top of the two shield food chain when you do the custom rankings, it's not going to be what you're going to actually see. What's going to be on top of here a lot are definitely going to be Galarian Stunfisk. Swinub is probably going to be a great 2 shield pick as well. A dark horse that I kind of see coming out, if you have it, is probably going to be Scrafty. Scrafty, even though it does lose against Skarmory, Scrafty does a lot of damage against pretty much everything except Skarmory. So if you have actually, that's a good question. Do I have that's something that I probably might want to look at. Do I have a sub 500 Scrafty? Out of curiosity? I actually do. I have a Scraggy that might actually I do have one. This is going to be interesting. The reason being is because outside of Skarmory, Scrafty pretty much moles through everything in this meta. Now that Cottonee is gone, you might see Whimsicott in its place, but because of Swinubs and Galarian Stunfisk running around, the chances of you seeing a Whimsicott running around in the Little Jungle Cup, you would really have to stretch. And Whimsicott loses against so many combinations, it's definitely not worth playing. Because of this, Scrafty at number 18 can definitely be one hell of a dark horse when it comes to this entire meta. Another dark horse you might see is going to be Dragalge. The reason why is because here's Dragalge and Dragon Tail are very powerful, but it also has access to Aqua Tail. Along with that, Dragalge is able to beat Fletchinder. So for the Little Jungle Cup before, if you remember playing it a long time ago, Fletchinder was actually a top 2 shield pick as well. Fletchinder beats Swinub. It also beats Galarian Stunfisk in the 2 shield. Just because Embers are able to chip away at it and because of Flame Charge. So it's kind of, if you run it, it's kind of dangerous, but Fletchinder and those Embers will actually add up against poor Pancake because Pancake doesn't have a lot of bulk in Little Jungle Cup. It's literally there just to rock slide everything to death. If you have Muddy Water and you debuff Fletchinder, you can come out with a matchup with Galarian Stunfisk. This is how you know I play this cup too much. But yes, Fletchinder in the 2 shield is going to be a threat. So top 2 shield threats are going to be Fletchinder, Swinub, Galarian Stunfisk, Scrafty, and Skarmory. You might see those in the lead as well, but definitely those, as well as Wooper. Wooper, as low as it's rated here, it's one of the fastest things in this cup. Actually, probably the fastest thing in this cup with Body Slam and Mudshot. 4 Mudshots equals 1 Body Slam. So outside of seeing, especially now that Cottonee's gone, Wooper is going to be able to go to town. And it can even beat, even though Steelix resists, as you see here, even the 2, not Steelix, even though, well, Steelix pretty much. Wooper beats Steelix. So Steelix, you're able to run through Steelix, but you're also able to beat Shadow Skarmory in the 2 shield as well. As you see here, Wooper's Body Slams add up so much, you can straight Body Slam Skarmory to death. That's just how dangerous Wooper is. So even though if you see a Skarmory, Wooper is still a fantastic choice in the 2 shields. Even if it's not a Dark, even if it's not Shadow, if you change it to a non-Shadow, wait, hold on, let's just switch it. Okay, there you go, we'll do that. Even if it's a non-Shadow, as you see here, Wooper still wins a 2 shield. It's not comfortable, but you still convincingly win the 2 shield, as you see here. You're still going to win the 2 shield. Just make sure you Mud Bomb and then Body Slam. Because believe it or not, Mud Bomb does 2 more points. It does that 1 point of damage. That will get you the dub. Or what you can do is take out Skarmory, then send in your G-Fisk, or send in Fletchinder and farm it down. But yes, Wooper can convincingly beat Skarmory in the 2 shield as well. So big charge move mons that you saw before are going to be really great in the 2 shield for this time around for the Little Jungle Cup. Alright, now we move on to the 1 shield. In the 1 shield, remember those picks I mentioned in the 2 shield that are really good? Guess what? They're also good in the 1 shield. As you see, G-Fisk takes number 3 and pretty much beats the top 2 on this list of Altaria and Wigglytuff. Those 2 aren't good. Also, Swinub says hi. If you use an Altaria in the Little Jungle Cup, be warned. Another thing is also Shelmet. Shelmet's a really interesting pick because you already know Body Slam rocks, and it's going to literally, I don't know how its body does, like, you know, it's cute. It literally Body Slams. I don't know how much it weighs, but you know what? It'll like slam your way to victory just like Wooper. And as you see here, it's Scrafty's worst nightmare, which is why you might not want to run Scrafty, but Scrafty's really interesting outside of, I was wrong, outside of Charmers and outside of Shelmet. So Shelmet is also a ridiculously good pick for this cup. The only problem with Shelmet is that Shelmet can't take on Skarmory. That's the issue. Shelmet gets walled by Skarmory, in fact, and that's why you need coverage for Skarmory if you're going to use Shelmet. By all means, Shelmet is, but that's why Wooper is better than Shelmet. So you're not really, unless you really want to use Shelmet, or unless you see Scrafties running around like sliced bread, Shelmet is not going to be, you definitely want to use Wooper instead of Shelmet. Like I mentioned, use Scrafty is still really good. Dragalge can also have play just because it's Dragon Tail. And Swinub, Wooper, this is going to be a very condensed meta. It's not going to be as good as, like, it's not like super widespread, and your battles are going to go by really fast. As you see, the 1 shield, the picks I mentioned in 2 shield do really good. And you even have things like Onix. Yes, Onix, unless you, Onix destroys Skarmory. That's basically it. If you see Skarmory leads against Onix, Onix destroys you. At the same time, Onix also cries against G-Fisk. But Onix, Onix also loses to things like Wooper, etc. So the ground type archetype is very strong in the Little Jungle Cup, but I've still seen Onyxes before, don't get me wrong. People still throw it against Skarmories, or like Onyx can rock those things to death, especially Fletchingers. If you see Onyx against Fletchinder, you cry just because Fletchinder literally gets buried in I don't know how many seconds, but it's pretty dang fast. Along with that, Diggersby. Diggersby is also a really interesting pick. In the 2 shield, Diggersby also can do well just because of the fact it's also able to take on Galarian Stunfisk right here. It beats Galarian Stunfisk, it also beats Onyx and Wigglytuff, but mind you, Swinub, it will lose against Swinub and Shelmet, like I mentioned, even Dragalge, just because Fire Punch isn't super effective. Dragalge will literally shake its tail fin, or, no, it's a fin, yeah. It's a fin. As you see here, unless you get evaded by Fire Punch, well, actually, they could go straight Fire Punch. But the bad thing is, you may lose the lead here, but they can farm you, and you won't have enough energy to throw back on it. But yes, in the 2 shield, Diggersby can win, but you can get farmed out. So it's not exactly a really comfortable matchup for Diggersby. But Diggersby is still really good. Most of the time, you're literally just going to Fire Punch everything to death. However, in the 1 shield, you will still lose against things like Swinub. Swinub's Icy Wind literally obliterates you from the face of the earth. As you see here in the 1 shield and the 2 shield, it will literally Icy Wind you or Body Slam you to oblivion. And it can shield both Ice Punches to take you out. It literally doesn't have to go Icy Wind. It could just straight Body Slam you to death. If you don't shield a Body Slam, you die. It's that simple. And Icy Wind can also debuff you. So that's why Diggersby isn't super comfortable, but you've seen it running. I'm pretty sure if you played this cup, you've seen Diggersby running around. And that's pretty much it for the 1 shield. Like I mentioned, there's not going to be too many crazy things running around here. You can see some crazy things, but for the most part, the picks I mentioned to you are very powerful. And little... Honestly, well, I'm kind of glad they bought Remix here, but like, banning Skorupi and everything like that, I mean, it's not even... It doesn't flip the meta too much, if you know what I mean. And last but not least, we have the closers. As you see, the Mighty Bear Trap / Pancake, whichever one you want to call it, is really good in all positions, including the closer. It will literally crush everything with Rock Slide or send a Magnitude 4.26.9 Earthquake to end your life. Along with that, there's a very interesting pick in the closer since freaking whatchamacallit, what's his name? Cottonee is no longer a part of this cup. Swampert! So Swampert, if you have a minus 500 CP Swampert, which isn't impossible because some people actually evolved one really low or Elite TM'd it, I might do it just for content, but Swampert in the closer with Hydro Cannon and Muddy Water is actually pretty dang good. With Muddy Water, you can bait or Hail Mary finish a lot of things, but with Hydro Cannon does so much damage that outside of things that resist it, which is pretty much nothing in this cup now that Cottonee is banned, there's Swampert loves to just run all over all the entire meta. So Swampert Closer is going to be incredibly powerful this cup. It either hits everything for super effective or outpaces a lot of things. So Swampert's going to do a lot of work in the closing scenario. So you could literally 2-shield Swampert in the back, and Swampert can go to town against a lot of pretty much everything in this cup. Outside of Swampert, old picks like I mentioned, G-Fisk, all the high pressure mons like Wooper, Swinub, closing scenario, they're going to do really good. Also, Skarmory is, if it's able to get to a Brave Bird, will Hail Mary a lot of things to death, except for G-Fisk. G-Fisk can still live a sizable amount of HP, but Brave Bird, if it's hit in the zeros, will do about half of its HP. So you see in the zeros right here, if Skarmory is up a shield, or if it can land a Sky Attack / Brave Bird can do... Wait, hold on. Just... No. Go Brave Bird. Go Brave Bird. Here. I'm trying to show Brave Bird damage. No! No Flash Cannon! Dang it. There you go. Cool. So if you look at it, Brave Bird can actually do 54%, which is more than half of G-Fisk HP. So Hail Mary Brave Bird can actually be a thing in the closer versus Stunfisk, just because Stunfisk and Skarmory are a lot less bulkier in Little Jungle Cup. We see Swooper here, like I already mentioned, Swinub. I've also seen Shadow Beedrill. Shadow Beedrill, it's not the greatest thing on earth, especially with the fact now that Whimsicott and Cottonee are banned. You're really going to die to those Rock Slides or get Hydro Cannon / Swinub's going to end your life. So, but Beedrill can also be viable. In other words, if you've seen, it's, yeah, very condensed meta, Hydro Cannon Swampert going Swampert in the closer. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Little Jungle Cup Remix is actually looking to be a little stable and not as fun as Open Great League, but if, like I mentioned, if you want to get your sets done quickly, a lot of, like, things that worked before, Swinub, Galarian Stunfisk, Fletchinder. If you played in Little Jungle Cup before and you didn't use Skorupi, Cottonee, etc., then this cup is definitely for you. There's a lot of ways with energy management and with like debuffs with like Muddy Water, G-Fist, etc. And if you are crazy enough to have a Hydro Cannon Swampert built, you can do very well in this cup versus Open Great League. But the good thing is it's also the beginning of the season, so you don't really have to stress about winning and losing too much, but you can get a lot of consistent W's in the Little Jungle Cup remix, just because a lot of these mons have, if you're really good with energy management and your typings, you can do very well in this cup, and it can shoot you to the moon. So hopefully you enjoyed the Little Jungle Cup remix. Hopefully some of you are interested in this little Madness Cup, because it's actually a lot better than it looks. Or you can go ahead and have a lot of fun in Open Great League with all the madness and chaos with all these new move updates. I got to applaud Niantic. Whoever works in the PvP department finally got tired of us talking smack against them. They actually did some work, and the work is actually really good. A lot of meta things got debuffed or got nerfed, and a lot of really fun, not all of them were super thought out, but it's definitely a huge upgrade, and I will praise Niantic for the efforts this time for this season. This is like the very first season where they've actually done a whole lot of things that would outside of a new mechanic, these moveset changes and new old mons get to become a lot more powerful, and then meta like Registeel with not having a guaranteed debuff, as well as Walrein are nerfed. So looks to be a really good balance of updates for this meta. Next video is going to be moveset updates. I just want to put Little Jungle Cup Remix out here. I won't be able to put a top teams for this one though, because Matt won't update his site until Thursday. So until Thursday happens, he won't be able to update the website. So I'm only going to give you the early meta analysis. Other than that, I'm going to give you moveset updates, as well as just early, there's a whole bunch of new cups that are coming too, so doing early meta analysis on that as well, until he finally updates the website. Then we can go ahead and I can go ahead and put some stuff out there, or once the day releases, I'll put my top teams out there that I already have an idea of. I just can't show you the technical analysis, because with pvpoke.com not having the team builder, it's very difficult to put things together manually. So more on that when Season 12 finally goes around. But I hope y'all are enjoying new updates. It's something pretty exciting. I never thought I would say that for Season 12, but it looks to be really exciting. Hopefully you're excited too. Without further ado, please like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. I really do appreciate y'all that do that. And I stream on Twitch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So the next week of streams is going to be pretty freaking cool. What would you like me to use? I'm probably going to use a whole bunch of stuff, to be honest with you. Because for most of the moveset update mons, I have a lot of good ones built or saved in my storage ready to build. So that when the moveset updates finally happen, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to spend a lot of Stardust. Because I got millions. I got millions on millions on millions that I already spent. But hopefully you are excited, and hopefully you are ready for the next season. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see y'all on the next video.